After extensive research, I am now fully convinced that we are going to have 1 billion people using stablecoins within the next 5 to 10 years. And for those of you here in crypto right at this very second, this presents a generational wealth opportunity to front run the trillions of dollars that are going to be coming into this industry over the next few years. So in this video, I want to break down for you what this transformation is going to look like and what is creating it. And I want to give you 3 specific investments that you can make in order to capitalize from the inflow of capital for stablecoins to profit from this paradigm shift. Now, if you want to follow the exact moves that I'm going to make going forwards, the exact buys, the exact sells, I run a private mastermind community dedicated to this. You'll find a link to that in the description below for those interested. But regardless, let's get straight into the video. I unfortunately have to use the traditional payment system every single day for paying stuff, sending money to friends, sending money to family, whatever it is. I have to use it every single day. It's incredibly slow, clunky, and expensive, and I hate using it, and I wish I could use stablecoins every day. From what I've seen over the past few weeks, that reality is becoming more and more true, where I will never have to use bank accounts and bank cards, and I'll be able to use USDC, USDT for literally everything. And I cannot wait for this day to come because it is a massive technological improvement on payments and what we currently use today. And you can see here, this is what happens when you send money to someone overseas from your bank account. It goes through all these different banks. You swap your currency to a different currency. All the money that gets taken in fees. It's a terrible system. Here is what it looks like when you make a payment online with a card. There's all these different little middlemen taking their little fees. You end up losing so much money on fees because there's so many little middlemen, right? And you can see all the middlemen and their descriptions of what they do here. It's insane. And when you think about the fees, let's look at Stripe, right? When I have a Stripe link and someone pays for my product or service through it, I lose 3% plus 30% for every transaction. And if that person's paying internationally, I lose an extra 1.5%. And if currency conversion is needed, it's another 1%. Me, imagining if I was in the position of Amazon losing 3% or whatever it is on every transaction, that's a lot of money. It's stupid. And you look at how much Stripe keeps of that 3%. They only keep 20 to 30%. So it's not like Stripe's taking all the money. It's all these other shitty little middlemen taking all the money. So the problem is with payments around the world through different systems, the SWIFT system or the credit card, debit card system, banks don't let you send money overseas on weekends. Payments take days, sometimes weeks to route through. Checking on a payment through the SWIFT system, you have to ring your bank. It's a pain in the ass. If I send money to a different currency, I lose 1 to 2% just on that, maybe more. Just to send money to someone, I have to input 3 to 6 different pieces of information. And then the IBAN SWIFT account number system doesn't even make sense. And I've sent 200 payments and I still haven't figured it out. It's not intuitive at all. When I send money to my friends in a stablecoin, it's within 5 seconds, input an address, sent, done. So easy. That is the solution to the whole banking, SWIFT system, remittances, payments system. It is the solution. The solution looks like this. Instant, basically free, 24/7 payments to anywhere around the world, similar to a Venmo, but it's done with crypto. Removal of FX conversion fees. You'll be able to swap between various stablecoins from different countries without even paying a fee. Okay, that's the future. Now, why isn't this already the future? Well, we're missing 3 things. We don't have infrastructure to basically have stablecoins accepted for payments. Imagine you pay for something on Amazon and you get scammed, and there's no system, there's no protocol in place to get refunded because that doesn't exist. There's no press refund button in your stablecoin wallet. This week, Coinbase actually created this thing called the Commerce Payments Protocol, which Shopify will now be using. Any merchant around the world is going to be able to use this technology, this protocol, in order to accept USDC and have the same payment protections and sort of legalities and guidelines and structure as if it was a card payment. That's coming soon. Well, it's actually coming right now. It's just in the testing phase. Now, the second reason is current blockchains aren't built for stablecoins. You think about when ETH came out, they weren't building the blockchain for stablecoins. I mean, ETH is the native gas token. Look how fucking annoying that is. The amount of times I've went to send a stablecoin and it says, oh, you don't have ETH in your wallet, and I got to spend 20 minutes putting ETH in the wallet. How stupid. The future of blockchains is using stablecoins as native gas. That's the future. And you see projects like Stable building towards this future. This is a Bitfinex project. It's basically a layer 1 blockchain they're building where you would use USDC as the native gas, and peer-to-peer USDT transfers are free. So that's the future. Here's 2 examples of the use case of a blockchain like Stable and how it's going to enable use cases that you can't really currently do. So imagine you're a Fortune 500 company and you have 10,000 staff and you want to pay them all in stablecoins, right? Do you think you want to hold $10,000 in ETH, which is a volatile token, and take all that risk just so you can pay for gas fees? Probably not. Do you think you want to have the risk of sending 10,000 transactions during a high expense period on the blockchain and have to pay massive fees just because you did the transactions of 10,000 customers at the wrong time? Probably not. You probably want to have a guarantee that the fees are low. Do you want to have like payments fail to go through, or would you rather have like priority lane access where you can guarantee that your payments go through fast and on time? You probably would want that, but you can't have that. There's a number of these like protocol level changes that this blockchain will put in place to allow stablecoin technology to be used by institutions around the world for all these different advantages that don't currently exist. And the third reason that stablecoins aren't used is that there's a lack of stablecoin regulation. Who actually can launch a stablecoin? Companies don't know this. Can I even accept it? Is this legal? Companies don't know this. This act called the Genius Act just got passed today, and it basically gives full clarity on who can issue a stablecoin, what qualification factors do they have to meet, and all the different things about that, okay? And so you can see here, Amazon and Walmart are looking into making their own stablecoin, and now they have clarification on how to do that. And institutions launching their own stablecoins, these big corporations launching their own stablecoins, is insanely bullish for crypto. And I want to tell you why that is in the rest of this video. Corporations like Amazon have 3 ways that they can profit from stablecoins. Why would they care about stablecoins? Well, let's say, with Starbucks as another example, they have a rewards app. On the rewards app, they have $1 billion of customer funds deposited. They make money on customer deposits because they can lend that out and get 3 to 5% risk-free interest on bonds. So the same thing can happen here with Amazon, Walmart, etc. If they have their customer base holding billions of dollars in their own stablecoin, or if they affiliate for the USDC stablecoin, they profit on the yield that that money has by doing basically nothing. Here's another pitch. Stablecoins go to corporations like Amazon and say, hey, you can avoid Visa and MasterCard annoying payment processor fees, and you can keep that extra 2 to 3% by just accepting stablecoins because there's no fees. And so then the reality is that this is just a Trojan horse to onboarding billions of people to crypto wallets, because that's how you send and receive stablecoins. So let's look at the stablecoin Trojan horse for 1 billion users and how this is going to be the most transformational adoption story for crypto and make people so much money who are early. The single most profitable company in the world per employees right now, as far as I'm aware, is Tether, which makes $93 million profit per employee. Oh my God. Their business model is pretty simple. They buy bonds with the US dollars that back their stablecoins and they keep the yield. Pretty simple business model. Every major corporation, once the Genius Act has passed, which it now has, will be able to create their own stablecoins to tap into this new source of revenue if they can meet the regulatory requirements. And what this is going to look like is interest-free working capital maxing, okay? That's what these companies get. They get interest-free working capital that they can put to work. And like I said, this isn't the first time. Starbucks has its own app rewards campaign. The $1.8 billion latte, how Starbucks turned loyalty into a banking business. $2 billion of money that they can lend for a yield, and they can keep it all. $2 billion of interest-free working capital that they can invest, receive yield on, etc. But this is just, in reality, a bit of a basic bitch version of what Tether currently does, because Tether's market cap is $155 billion, which is 70 times larger. So here's the stablecoin solution. Here is the advantage of a stablecoin, either made or just accepted by institutions around the world. Starbucks, or really any of them, right, can receive these benefits. They can, number one, bypass traditional banking payments, so they'd save 1 to 3% on every transaction. If you make $1 billion and you save 3%, that's insane amount of money, okay? Interest-free working capital, so they can make 3 to 5% on the capital that their customers deposit. And stablecoins are also a form of programmable money, so they can create very dynamic promotions, discounts, or time-bound rewards. So it allows for more creative approaches to maximize customer loyalty. So if you save 2% and you make 5% extra, that's a massive incentive to get involved with stablecoins, right? And this is the kicker for all of you guys watching this video, how you're going to get rich. It's a massive rewards campaign budget acting as an incentive mechanism for users to onboard to using stablecoins. That's a big sentence, so let me break this down for you. On the Starbucks app, they reward loyalty through discounts, free items, etc. Basically, the money that they're using as the rewards program is funded from the money that they make from lending customer deposits. If these massive institutions launch stablecoins and they're making all this extra money from people using this solution, they will incentivize people to use this solution. So bond yield is going to pay for normies to set up crypto wallets to pay for things in USDC. Can you see how massive that is? Now, obviously, not every big company around the world will launch a stablecoin. Most can't because they don't meet the regulatory guidelines. They're not financial institutions. They're just businesses, right? However, for the ones that do, it's going to be massive. And the way it will work is that users will sign up to what's called an embedded wallet. So imagine you open up the Starbucks app and then it says create wallet, and it will make a wallet for you within the app within 5 seconds. Let's also look at Stripe, because Stripe has recognized this. Stripe has recognized that the traditional payment system sucks. It's expensive. They lose most of the money that they collect on fees to all these other people. Why don't they just keep it all in-house? And so Stripe is building its own crypto native ecosystem for payments. And they've done this by buying 2 strategic purchases of companies. They bought Bridge and they bought Privy. These are the 2 projects here, okay? Very similar logo. Very similar background. Isn't that funny? Because they just bought it. Bridge basically gives Stripe the infrastructure to have customers accept stablecoins. So, imagine you go to a Stripe link to pay for something and it says pay in stablecoins, right? Bridge enables that. Also, imagine you're a business using Stripe, right? And you have someone pay you in crypto and you want to turn that into money in your bank. Bridge gives the infrastructure to do that. Now, Privy is the tech for the embedded wallet. So imagine you are a Stripe business customer. You want to accept stablecoins. You set up a wallet in Stripe. So it'll say, make a Stripe wallet, and it will use Privy tech. Okay. So what does this mean? Why do you care about learning about this shit? Daniel, just tell me what coin to buy. Okay. Stripe allows its customers to accept stablecoins for payment. Customers can turn the stablecoins they get paid into fiat. Customers can instantly create an embedded wallet. And also, if Privy gets accepted as the main wallet provider that people are, using to make wallets, when you KYC with Privy, you'll only need to do it once. So you'll be able to be remembered when you sign up for a new wallet on any platform, as long as it's using Privy. So why does any of this matter? From basically every angle that you look at it, whether it's Stripe, strategic acquisitions, Amazon and Walmart exploring launching stablecoins, the Genius Act getting approved, bringing regulatory clarity around stablecoins, the Trojan horse of how Coinbase is going to bring stablecoins to the masses by building the payment protocol powering Shopify payments, to USDT investing into its own L1 to allow for an institutional level blockchain to allow for the replacement of the SWIFT system. It doesn't matter what angle you look at it. It's every angle. Stablecoins are being adopted across the board. The infrastructure is being built to enable 1 billion people to use stablecoins on a regular basis. And the total market cap of stablecoins is only 250 billion right now. You can see it's just been going parabolic for a long time now. I think it's set to explode another 10 to 50x. I think we have a $5 to $10 trillion total market cap of stablecoins in the next 5 to 10 years, easily. And I think for well-positioned companies, billions upon billions will be made. I mean, just think about the SWIFT system. They process 45 million transactions daily, which is over $5 trillion transacted. Whichever company replaces the SWIFT system with the stablecoin infrastructure, taking a small percentage of fees on every transfer, is going to make billions of dollars. So how do you get exposure to crypto's #1 product market fit adoption story? How do you make money from this transformation that you can see that's going to happen in the payment space? Well, I think there's 3 strategies that are direct methods to profit, but then there's obviously the more broad strategy, which we can talk about as well. So #1 is to invest in stablecoin companies. This is pretty straightforward. Now, you can't buy USDT unless you're able to buy a private company, but you can buy Circle now. You can see the Circle stock just came out a couple weeks ago. It's been performing really well because there's really not many options for people to get exposure to the stablecoin thesis. Now, this is not a stock that I would buy right now, but it's something that I would consider buying once this initial hype of the stablecoin meta sort of dying down. And also, now that the Genius Act is approved, we're probably going to see quite a few competitors launch their own stablecoins and move into this space. And I would expect maybe some sort of weakness, but I'd be looking to accumulate Circle at a later point. The second way is invest in stablecoin infrastructure. So this is the way I would view stablecoins. You've got the actual coin, and then you've got the infrastructure that enables for the transfer of this coin in a way that works for traditional players. So what I mean by that is, like I said with the example before in the video, imagine you're a company with 10,000 employees. How do you use stablecoin infrastructure to facilitate 10,000 payments, considering that you would need to have some sort of guarantee that funds are sent at certain times, guarantees around the cost of transfers, or at least a price range the price should be for a transfer, the infrastructure to set up automatically, staff wallets that they get access to when they join the company, automations around payments to all the staff, a platform that all of that can be managed within. Like, I don't think this exists right now as far as I'm aware, but that is what Plasma, another example, and Stable are building towards, okay? So if you go on Twitter, you can see Plasma, right? This is another example of a project that's building something similar. A purpose-built blockchain for stablecoin payments built on Bitcoin, USD, stablecoins as the native gas, okay? They just did a raise, actually, for native token, XBL. I got my mastermind guys to invest into this, actually. It's yet to be seen if it's gonna make the money, but I'm pretty sure it will. And yeah, like I said, the second one is Stable. We already went over that project, but neither of these projects have a token. Stable is unlikely to ever have a token, but if it does, it'd definitely be worth looking out for. But yeah, the thesis is pretty simple. There's this many transactions happening, this much volume. Stablecoin infrastructure enables global, free, 24/7, simple, easy to do transfers to anyone, which is a massive improvement. Whichever platform becomes a de facto SWIFT payment system will process trillions in transactions. And the last method that you could use to profit on this is invest in stablecoin related projects. So one example for you guys is Aave. Aave is the main platform that you would go to in order to lend money and receive a yield, or borrow money and pay interest. So if the stablecoin total market cap goes 10x, that's 10 times more stablecoins that are going to be either searching for a yield or whatever it is that they're doing within the stablecoin ecosystem. This increases TVL and revenue, leading to more buybacks of the Aave token and more revenue given to stakers. Okay, so that's just to give you some examples. Now, crypto as a whole, as an industry to make money from, is also just going to benefit from this more broadly. If a billion people are incentivized by these companies to set up wallets that basically hold stablecoins so that companies can get paid in stablecoins to get around the traditional banking system, that also gives all of these billion people the ability to buy other tokens within their wallets in a really fast and simple manner. Imagine there's a sector of crypto that's going crazy, let's say AI agents, and there's a billion people who want to invest in AI, but they don't have any cryptos already. Is it easier that they have to go and set up a Coinbase account and then get funded and figure out how to buy these coins? Or is it easier that they all already have embedded wallets with stablecoins that allow them to swap between tokens within 5 to 10 seconds? I think the latter is a much better option, and that's what's going to happen as the whole world is going to be using stablecoins because it's just such a better system, and corporations are incentivized for their customers to bridge onto this system. So this thesis is going to take a while to play out. It's something over the next 5 to 10 years. If you want to follow the exact investments that I'll be making to profit from crypto's most mainstream product, I do run a private mastermind community, which you will have to apply to join. I'll show you all the coins I'm buying, exact entries and exits. I build you an exact portfolio to make 7 figures from this bull run is the goal. So if you guys are interested to learn more about this, you can apply at the website here. But thank you guys for watching the video. I will see you in the next one. Cheers.